So I'm Ginger Cruz, and I am here because we are at a defining moment in Guam's history. We have never faced more threat nor more opportunity in our entire history. And we have to think about that, because what we need to do on this island, we have to rise up to that moment. So we have to have somebody who goes to Washington who has both the experience and the confidence to both protect the people of Guam from those threats and to leverage this moment to ensure that we benefit not just from military buildup, but that we also benefit from the economic buildup. Since 2019, we haven't had any major new visions or major new ideas. And we have this opportunity which we need to leverage, which could take care of so many of the issues that the senatorial candidates were talking about. If we can increase our bridge to Asia as an economic part of the strategy that the United States has, and not just be a military buildup center, we can do so much more in healthcare, in education, in so many areas for the people of Guam. I moved back to Guam in 2019. I love this island. I have the experience. I have the confidence. I know how the federal government works, the Congress, the Senate, the House, and the executive branch. And I want to put all of that to work for the people of Guam. I humbly ask for your vote.
Thank you, Ginger. Very well done. Ginger Cruz, your thoughts on some of the programs that you may be able to give rise to improve the economy?
Thank you, Jason. Well, I actually want to think a little bit bigger. I think, and I wrote an article about this in the Guam Post on Monday, that we need to look at putting Guam on the Foreign Affairs Committee, because you know what's happening? We are the center of the military strategy, but we're not currently the center of the economic strategy. The United States is investing massive amounts of money to build the economies of Manila, of Korea, of Japan, and they're passing over Guam. What we need to do is have a seat at the table, have a credible voice, somebody who is confident enough to be able to bring our issues to that level and make sure that the economic buildup that's happening throughout the Asia Pacific also happens here on Guam. We need to think bigger. We need to be agents for our own change. We need to understand how can we get the Small Business Administration to include in all of the contracts that are on Guam opportunities for Guam's small businesses. There are a lot of things that we can do, but we have to aim higher, and we have to do more for the people of Guam and not just keep on doing the things that we've always been doing. Thank you.
Well done.
All right, the next question will center on public safety, and we'll start with Ginger. How do you propose to address the issue of crime in our community and use federal resources to make our neighborhoods and businesses safer? What specific strategies or programs do you believe will be most effective in reducing crime rates, drug trafficking, and sexual violence to improve the overall well-being of residents?
Hard to do in 60 seconds, but let's put it this way. The Department of Defense has just identified that Communist China is actually behind so much of the drugs that are proliferating across the United States and here on Guam. The threat of crystal methamphetamine that has come into this island that is driving so much of the crime can now be directly tied to the geopolitical issues that we have. What we need to do is we need to work with like-minded states, like-minded territories. We need to ensure that in the next 5 years, we have a 100% check on everything that comes in through air or through sea, so that we can find and interdict and stop the drugs from coming to our shores. And then once we stop the drugs from coming in, then we need to bolster with federal programs the treatment and the rehabilitation of the people on Guam. But we need to think big. We need to aim higher. We need to do more, because you know what? It is a crisis. This is not the Guam that I remember. This has to be a safe place for all of us. A safe place not only for the people who live on Guam, but for all of the people who want to come back home, who want to make this place their paradise.
Thank you, Ginger. That's your time.
I think what we need to look at is not only how can we use our hotels to basically support the military mission, but how can Guam become a part of the growth in the Asian Pacific region? How can Guam become a hub for conferences that the United States government is starting to hold with Japan and Korea and the Philippines? How can we tap new markets? What we need to do is, as those new markets get tapped, it helps to bring in more visitors to Guam, not just the family visitors, but now we start to get business visitors. Now we start to get people that are going to bring exponentially more economic activity to Guam. We can't always be doing the same things and expecting a different result. We have to reach higher. I want very much to work with the Guam Hotel and Restaurant Association to see how do we attract new markets, how do we make sure that the impact of the military is good for the people of Guam and is good for Guam, but beyond that, how do we get to other markets and bring them in to bolster foster, support, and strengthen our tourism
I'm
industry.
sorry, Ginger, that's your time. Well done.
If we continue to do the same thing and we continue to elect the same people, we're going to continue to get the same results. I believe, with all due respect, that we need to aim higher. I think there's more that we can do. We have an amazing moment in time, but the way that we leverage that is we need to send somebody to Congress who has experience, who spent 12 years working with the federal government, with the Senate, with the House, with the executive branch, who knows how to make things work, and somebody who has the confidence to not just sit at the table on the Foreign Affairs Committee, on the Armed Services Committee, and on Natural Resources, but somebody who can be part of the discussion, because when you're part of the discussion and you're helping America to understand how it can be stronger in the Asia-Pacific region and where Guam's role is going to be in that, then our issues are actually going to move. We can't be sitting on the side, the unincorporated territory of Guam, waiting for a handout or hoping that some small issue is going to be handled. We deserve a seat at that table, and that is what I want to bring. The women here from the Women's Chamber of Commerce, you know what it's like to be agents for your own change. The Guam Hotel and Restaurant Association, you took a swampland in Tumon and you turned it into a pillar of Guam's economy. What has happened to Guam? Where is our ability to aim higher and be agents for our own change? I love my island. I came home. I want to do this. I want you to put me to work so that I, together with all of you in collaboration, can be an agent for change and we can do more for the future of Guam. Thank you very much.